Good morning to everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Nadia Baldone, and I've been working for Eelectron since 2016. So today I will present this webinar with Andrea and Paolo. This is our slide. So a few words. We are in the end of the year, and this webinar is the seventh webinar of the 2021. It was a long year, but on the same time, full of satisfaction. Many of you already know this slide tells who we are and where we come from and what we do. So we want to leave this slide for you in the PDF version. So it has just ended the Smart Building event in Milan, and we had many interested visitors, a lot of people. Finally, we had the opportunity to meet the people face to face after a long time, and it was very nice. Believe me, it was very nice. We showed all our product range divided for vertical markets, and also we introduced the new devices and solutions, and we talk about it during this webinar. So we are happy to say now we are part of SBA Italy, so the Smart Building Alliance. It's an important international association that promotes digital technology for smart homes, smart building, and smart city for the future, for tomorrow. And let me say that if you are subscribed to our newsletter, you get all details and a YouTube link. Other news from our side, and we like to share. So apart our core technology as Connect, Bluetooth and IoT cloud that you already know, we are proud to announce that now we are part of Digital Illuminance Interface Alliance. That means the DALI association in few words. This is an important step in our evolution. All these technologies and related services contribute to the smart building. And remember, the smart building operates for the people, around the people. Who has followed us for some time knows well that in our webinar, we like to show an holistic portfolio overview slide. Today, we like to show a different perspective of our evolving portfolio. So, key benefits can be summarized in a few points. Focus on user experience, both occupants and building operators. Attention to energy efficiency combined with green sustainability. Our contribution for smart building, on which a key fundamental is connected room and space automation. Our intelligent devices more and more generate data for the so-called digital building applications and mobile. And of course, our technology mentioned previously, of course, applying a proper mix of standard and open and interoperable technologies. Now is the time to be practical and consistent. So let's go ahead with what's new, and I hand over to Paolo that will expose some news.
Morning. We have to fix some technical issues. Sorry for the webcam. Okay, now it's running. So Paolo speaking. Today will be my pleasure to introduce you to our hotel hospitality solution. So we can have a recap of what has been already introduced in our portfolio about devices that can be used to equip an hotel room. Let's start from the access control reader. This device is usually installed outside the room and enable the guest to enter the room. Moving inside, we have the card holder. The card holder is the device that enables the room features or room services. Just above it, we have the room controller, the 1925 range room controller, or a more evolved in terms of user experience, small touch panel is the 3.5-inch touch panel. The present detector is shown here to remember you that in case the hotel owner or hotel manager prefer to not have the card holder inside the room, we can offer a different solution using the logic built in the present detector that is called virtual holder. Some switches can compose the room. Here we have a 10-channel capacitive switch and the bedside panel. The bedside panel is a mixed solution because it's composed by a standard capacitive switch on the right, customizable in terms of icons, and on the left we can keep the bedside panel with different kind of sockets or more complex accessories like the USB charger shown here. To not forget what has been already in our portfolio, we can also provide the mini pad or the 3025 version mechanical switch. I like this kind of devices because, as you can see here in the slide, these kind of devices can be customized with laser engraving technology to make it easier for the guest that usually has to spend just a few days in the hotel, how to interact with the room. So to enable the features of the room. Here's something new. This is what we are introducing right now in the access control range. It's called numeric keypad. The numeric keypad is used instead of the card reader to make it possible for the guest, the end user, to open a door. It belongs to the 9025 range devices. So the main features of this kind of devices are the RGB bar present in the center that can provide a visual feedback in case your PIN is the right one or not. So if you are allowed to enter into the room or not. Nice feature is, again, the proximity wake up. So we can keep everything turned off. And as soon as you approach your hands to the device, it comes back showing the numbers. The installer can decide to use this kind of keypad with 4 or 6-digit code. And most important, this device has to be used with our solution, eSuite, our GRMS, or Horizon Web Server. Other features for this keypad. Built in, we have an HVAC application, means the logic to drive a thermoregulation. A logic module is present, freely configurable. The RBIT, this nice feature to know exactly if the device is online or not. And last but not least, can XPath powered. So we don't need an auxiliary power supply to run this device. Very important during the installation. So what we can offer about guest experience. Some months ago, we introduced the virtual badge. Virtual badge is an application running on our web server, and as a front end, we can use a smartphone, the guest smartphone, to make it possible for the guest to open the door through the mobile application. Door opening or room controlling means that we can also give the possibility to the guest to control the function of the room. So basically, after receiving a reservation through online booking system, the guest receive an email with PIN access code. Downloading the application and inserting the PIN, the user can open the door. Now, with the keypad, we have an alternative solution. So the story is quite similar because, again, we have to use online booking systems. Receiving an email, the guest receive a PIN that will be used to open the door. But now the PIN will be used and introduced through the keypad. New devices are joining the access control systems and solution by Eelectron. Probably most of you already knows the Synchronicity access control devices, reader and holder. We have made an evolution for the Synchronicity version because, as you can see right now, we have, in terms of design, we have a new user interface because in the lower part of the device we have icons, and this is the standard layout for the icons, where we have, starting from the left, we have the guest in a room, make up my room request, do not disturb, or service in the room. But most important, I guess, that is the electronic part that has been redesigned completely. To be part of the electron access control systems, we have now the technology used for the RFID part is based on 30 MHz MIFARE. And don't forget to have a look at the center of the device, where we have a circle, RGB circle, that is used as a feedback for the guest, more visible and more intuitive for the guest to know if the card is valid or not. Talking about technical features of the evolved Synchronicity version, I already told you that we have 13.5 MHz technology for the RFID part. It's still compatible with multiple standards in wall boxes. So this kind of device can be installed in the 2 in-wall boxes or typical Italian 3-module in-wall box. We still have on board a couple of inputs and outputs, and can be also installed, we say flexible installation, because as for the past, this kind of device can be installed outdoor. It's a part of the Eelectron Hotel solution. So again, this is a device that can be driven by eSuite or Horizon. Let's have a small table to highlight the features of the new Synchronicity. I already told you that it's based on 13 megahertz. We have a completely new redesigned ETS database. We like to say with extended access control features, because this part has been very improved. We have onboard relay that can be used, as in the past, we suggest to use the onboard relay for the door strike, for example, free inputs, freely configurable inputs on board, and the new big LED feedback in the center of the device. If we want to have a look also what has been already introduced in our portfolio, the 9025 access control systems and devices, we have the same technology. So you can understand that now you can have a mixed solution with some new readers coming from the 9025 range, very close to the new Synchronicity devices. New product database also for 9025 version. Here we have a real-time clock battery equipped. And when we talk about 9025, we always have to remember that the RGB bar has to be freely used by the installers to make different things. And 9025, it's based on glass that can be customized with hotel logo, different shapes for the icons or pictograms or text, as the end user prefer. Let me show you a recap of our solution. So the focus of hospitality solution for Eelectron is always the guest. Next to the guest, we have to install devices that can make the user experience as best as we can. So with switches, bedside panel, room controller, and so on. But we have also more technical devices, so devices that have to be installed in distribution board and so on, that play a role behind the scenes, like actuators, dimmers, LED dreamers, and so on, button interface, and so on. On the top of this, we have our eSuite guest room management system that we can offer, based on a rack server or a small NUC, in case we have to talk about small installation. Close to this installation, we have one or more reception desks, means the person who will use our solution. And on this side, we have the PMS, so all the back office application that runs in the hotel, strictly connected to our system to make it possible an interaction between different systems. The new keypads and the new Synchronicity are coming to be part of this family of devices that compose our solution. And now let me give the floor to Andrea that will show you the dashboard functionality dedicated to hospitality. Thanks.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you to Paolo and Nadia for the introduction and the beginning of this webinar. For who didn't know me, my name is Andrea Pontoglio, product specialist here in the Eelectron. As Paolo said, today we want to show you the dashboard. So, as you already know, in the Kinect system, thanks also to our Kinect devices, we can generate a lot of data, such as the occupancy and activity rate, actual temperature, and actual humidity inside our Kinect building. This means that we can have this kind of data also in projects such as the hotel. And in the hotel, we can represent all this data inside a dashboard. Dashboard, what is it? It is a web page that you can access very easily thanks to a browser, so you can connect to the dashboard where you are, and you can check all the data of your system, of your Kinect system. Something very interesting about the dashboard is that we are not limited only to one Horizon server. This means that in this case, this particular dashboard receive information and the Kinect data from more than 7 web servers. In this particular case, we are using 10 different web servers just to push some Kinect data to our cloud. This means that we can collect more data coming from different Kinect systems and combine them in one dedicated page. Just for your information, the dashboard is sold as a blank page. This means that you have to populate your dashboard with the data that you want to add and also with the image that you want to add. In this particular case, as you can see, we made an hotel overview for the hotel building where I have a list of different hotels where we put just a wellness indicator that is the medium of the average value of the KPI of our system. So we combine the score that the system made for the air quality, temperature and humidity, and we can give a wellness indicator as in this case. If we want to check better one particular hotel, as in this case the Hotel Eelectron, we have just to press on the hotel name and we can access in the visualization where I have all the room. But remember, this visualization is like that because I made this kind of visualization. So if I want to put a list here of images with the room or create another kind of visualization, we are free to do that without any problem. In addition, the last thing that I want to say to you regarding the dashboard is the opportunity that we have to check all of our Horizon installed that are connected to the dashboard, and we can also understand what is, for example, the actual version of the software, if the device is online or offline, if we have any warning from the web server, such as a pop-up alarm that we set in the visualization. And of course, for each web server, we can connect to it directly thanks to this button that will bring us directly to the web server. Now we say that the dashboard is for the hospitality, but to be honest, it's just because we made this demo for the hospitality. This because we can adapt the dashboard in any kind of project, since it is just a tool that you can use to visualize your data. And I remember that it's very useful for system integrator to keep trace about the web server, thanks to the maintenance page, or for the end user where they have more project, more KNX building, and they want to combine all the data inside only one web page. We are also developing a new part for the dashboard where we will have also the opportunity to send a command from the dashboard. So actually is used just to receive information from the building, so create graph, indicators, and so on. But in the next step, we will have also the opportunity to send some command, for example, the favorites command directly from the dashboard. Now we want to talk about DALI. This because nowadays DALI is a standard for the lighting system, more and more present in the market. As you already know, probably you face the DALI brand and DALI bus in market and projects such as offices, hotel, warehouse, or data center. But keep in mind that day by day is reaching also villas and residential projects. As we said, a standard IEC 62386 standard for lighting control system. At this moment, we have in the catalog two different devices, the IC00P01DAL and the IC00P02DAL, that are two different gateways between KNX system and DALI, where with the IC00P01DAL, we have the opportunity to control and manage DT6 DALI ballast. This means that we can control single DALI channel and the DT1 DALI ballast. This means that we can control and manage also the battery inside the DALI ballast if it's present. This means that if we have to manage and control an emergency lighting system with ballast, with self-powering battery, we can use the IC00P01DAL to receive all the information about the battery, for example, the percentage of the remaining power inside the battery. But in addition, we can also perform tests. In this way, we can check if the emergency system is working or not. In addition, from the beginning of this year, so from January 21, we are also compatible with DALI 2 ballast in total. This means that we are limited to DT6 and DT1 ballast, but we have no problem to address and control DALI 2, DT1 and DT6 ballast. We have a diagnostic function to understand and notice on the KNX bus if any ballast or lamp is in faulty status. This thanks to one dedicated communication object over 1 byte telegram. Thanks to this telegram, we can understand if there is a fault on the driver or just on the lamp. And remember that with both gateway, we have the opportunity also to replace a DALI ballast without using ETS. This because we have the opportunity to place the driver automatically. In addition, I want to say that on each of these two gateways, we can connect up to 64 channels on the DALI bus and link up 32 groups. So I explain you what you can do and manage with the IC00P01 DAL. Now let's see what is inside the IC00P02 DAL. So with this second version of the DALI gateway, we have the opportunity to control and manage without any problem DT6 ballast as before. In this case, in addition, we have the opportunity to control also DT8 DALI ballast, but only with the tunable white function. This means that if you have a lamp with warm white and cold white, we can dim and change the color without any problem. As I said, we are compatible with the DT8, but only with the tunable white. This means that if you have to control and manage an RGB white or RGB lamp, you have to use, as before, 3 or 4 different DT6 ballast, because this device is not compatible with the DT8 for RGB or RGB white. As before, also the IC00P02 DAL is compatible with the diagnostic function with the cumulative 1 byte feedback object. And also in this device, we have the opportunity to link and manage up to 32 groups in DALI and wire up to 64 lamps in one device. So the real difference between the IC00P01 DL and the IC00P02 DL is that with the P01 version, we can manage single output DALI ballast and self-powered battery ballast with the self-powered battery for emergency lighting, instead of the IC00P02DL, where we can control and manage again DT6 ballast with the single output or DT8 DALI ballast with the tunable white function. Just one slide for the wiring of the DALI that I want to remember you that is a single bus that goes in and out between the DALI ballast, where very similar to the KNX, we can wire this bus as daisy chain, bus 3, star, and so on. We have just to don't close any loop, any circuit on the DALI bus. Regarding the mains, remember that is not limited one line for one DALI bus. This means that we can power and feed up different ballasts with different lines without any problem. So we had a recap of our actual gateway between KNX and DALI. So IC00P01DL and IC00P02DL. And now we want to introduce you our new DALI gateway between DALI and KNX that is called IC02D01DL. Is a new particular KNX DALI gateway where we have the opportunity to wire 2 different DALI buses. This means that in only one device, we will have 2 different KNX DALI gateway. This means that we will have the opportunity to wire up to 128 ballast for each DALI gateway, because we have 2 DALI lines inside, so 2 DALI power supply, 2 different DALI trunk, and we will have the communication between DALI and KNX as always. So this means that if I want to create a group between 2 different lines in DALI, we can do that thanks to the KNX side. This because we will address the first lamp in the first DALI bus, the second lamp in the second DALI bus, and via KNX we will turn on and off them together. Just an update regarding the ballast that we can control and manage with this device is that we are compatible now also with DT8 for RGB and RGB white. This means that if before we had to buy 4 or 3 different DT6 ballast to manage and control RGB or RGB white, now we have to buy only 1 ballast. And this affects also the number of the DALI gateway in your system, because think about that, before to control and manage RGB or RGB white lamp, you have to use 3 or 4 DALI address instead of only one that we have to use now. We are still compatible with DT6, of course, and with DT8 for tunnable white ballast. We are compatible with DALI 2, and also here, as we said, we can control and manage up to 64 DALI ballast in 16 groups, but 2 times. This is because we have 2 different DALI bus in only one DALI gateway. With this slide, we want to give you a recap of our multi-sensor range. That is a range of presence detector where we start from basic presence detector to space presence detector. Just to remember you, we start from the basic presence detector that is a very simple PIR presence detector, so passive infrared, and we start with the basic one, so just a PIR detector. This means that there is no lux meter, and for this reason we use this device just to turn on and off light, for example in bathroom application, or we are proposing this device to enable what we call virtual holder function. That is a particular function that permits you to remove the transponder holder inside your hotel room and keep the presence inside the room when the guest is in. If you are interested about this function, I suggest you to check our other webinar inside our YouTube channel where we discuss a lot about this function. Going ahead with the range, we have the standard presence detector that is, as the name suggests, a standard one, so with the PIR sensor plus the lux meter, and we use this device to keep 10 level of lux on the desk, for example. And we have the high bay version that is the same as the standard one, but in this case we can install it up to 16 meter high. We have the multi-sensor that, as the name suggests, is a device where we have multiple sensors embedded directly on the PCB of the device. Starting from the temperature probe and humidity probe, we will have also the sound sensor that is not a microphone, so we have no problem for privacy because we don't record anything, but we just analyze the signal, the decibel level inside the room, and we give this data to the KNX bus. In addition, we enlarge our series with the space sensor that is the big brother, let's say, about the multi-sensor, because as hardware is equal, we have the same functionality. But in addition, we have 2 more software functions called utilization and activity, where we use these 2 functions to understand 2 values regarding the space. This means that we want to have a percentage regarding the use of the space. For example, if I create a timeout for this value of 1 hour and I stay a quarter of an hour inside the room, I will have 25% as a result. If I stay half an hour, I will have 50%. The other value is the activity. So it's a raw data about the movement that I made under the sensor in the last hour. So it's not a people counting function, but usually this value is coordinated, let's say, with the number of the people inside the room. So more movement you have, more probability that more people are inside the same room are present. To close the range, we have also the 2 plug-in sensors that remember you that you can wire on the third input of the space and multi-sensor that are 2 plugins for increase the value read by the device. For example, with the SM03A01 ACC, we have the opportunity to read an additional temperature value and a CO2 value, or the SM03A02 ACC that can be used to read the actual value of VOC and equivalent CO2. In addition, we have the opportunity to propose you 2 different colors as a standard, so all the series could be white or black, and we have accessory to different kind of installation. For example, an accessory for the surface installation if you don't want to make any hole inside your ceiling, or the accessory for the box installation. Talking about the plug-in sensor, you know that as you can see from this slide, our device looks very nice. So as we saw in the previous slide, we won a lot of design award for the design of our presence detector because it's very small and looks very nice. And the accessory, the plug-in sensor, follow the same shape, but we think about how we can modify the look of the combination between the space or multi-sensor and the plug-in sensor. We thought about a new accessory that we call Infinity, that permit us to bring together two different sensors, so a space or multi-sensor plus a plug-in sensor. And as you can see on the picture below, that is a real photo of the two devices installed. They look very nice. As we said, if you have any feedback, please report it to us. Please contact us and give your experience with our product. So this is a particular case where the multi-sensor was really appreciated in the Switzerland market, but in Switzerland for the selling installation, they use a particular backbox that was not compatible with our multi-sensor. So we studied the backbox and create a new accessory to mount it without any problem. Again, the below picture is a real photo that comes from our last exhibition in Rome called Sicurezza, that means security. The last device that I want to show you today is the new PD02X02 CON. That is a new conventional presence detector. Here you can see the dimension of it, and let's say that is a wide range presence detector because it can cover up to 24 meters as diameter if we install it at 5 meters height. How we can use this conventional presence detector? We have, let's say, two hypotheses. First one is use it in project or in zoning of your project where you don't care about the status of the light. I'm thinking about again bathrooms because probably you don't want to know if the light is on or off or manage it via timer or others. You want that the bathroom light is just on and off if someone is in. So thanks to this presence detector, you can go on budget and propose it instead of KNX presence detector. This because, as we said, we have two internal relay. But remember also that the power relay of 16 amp can be disabled without any problem, that thanks to a little trimmer inside of the device, where you can disable this relay. In this way, only a smaller relay is present and active inside the device, and you can use this conventional presence detector to give the information of presence in or not to the virtual holder function. So we can wire the conventional presence detector to an input of our KNX devices to increase the reliability of the virtual holder function inside our hotel project. So for the moment, I finish my part. I'll leave again the speech to Nadia. We will see later for the Q&A. Thank you to everybody.
Thanks to Andrea. Product availability. So if someone is doing this webinar, we are used to communicate product availability, what we have in our warehouse and what we will have very soon. So KNX DALI Gateway, two channels that we call also DALI Twin, is available in our warehouse, and of course you can order this device. Then the 9025 keypad. I remember you that all 9025 range devices are composed by electronic part and glass. So both the two modules and the three modules keypad will be available in January 2022. Then the new Synchronicity access control will be available in the first quarter 2022. The new Synchronicity, you can install these devices in 2 or 3 standard in-wall boxes. Then the accessory for the multi-sensor are available, and you can order this accessory. And the latest is the new presence detector, conventional presence detector, will be available in January. So before going to the conclusion of this webinar, just a few words on some news that we will release early in 2022. Introducing the bridge. The bridge will be a platform of devices, as we did with the multi-sensors and the module actuators. These devices include power supply, 640 milliamps, and the NEP interface. It's equipped with some logic and many other features. So keep in touch to discover the bridge at the next webinar, I think in the end of January. Other devices we will release very soon. See here a list of some other news news, and please expect more to come next year. So we will introduce the new module with digital input and new tools, graphic editor for 3.5 inches touches, a new fan coil controller. We prefer to say an HVAC analog controller, range expansion, and other devices like the new dimmer, a new model of Otomo, and new frames on a 9025 range. This is our portfolio, our recap, our catalog with all our products. So, for example, the devices, a solution for hospitality, devices for that we call system components, multi-sensor range with the wide range sensor and the corridor, the family of multi-sensor, of course, all actuator that we have in our catalog, and other devices and solutions. Please stay connected with us and subscribe the newsletter to receive our latest news, and of course follow us on social media. Okay, during this year we updated many brochures and leaflets. And now we finally updated the technical catalog with all 2021 deployments. And you can download this new technical catalog, of course, from our website. Not only the technical catalog, but all our brochures and leaflets. So I want to highlight the new 4-panel leaflet by Vertical Markets. I'd like to remember you that we have for you also the demo packages and demo cases, and a kit for lab test or quick showroom setup. Please subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, these are the next appointments for next year. In February, in Barcelona, Integrated System Europe events, and of course, the Light and Building in Frankfurt. Let's see there, and we will wait you there. We prefer to be positive. We are at the end of the webinar. This is your first time with us. We would like to inform you that open now the possibility to have a one-to-one call through our meeting scheduler. You can book using the link below or scanning the QR code. Thanks for your time. See you soon.
Thanks for your time and for your attention.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.